Okay, guys, right about now, maybe you found a climate graph chart. Maybe you've been a little bit confused by it. Today, I want to talk about how to read it. A couple different of ones of the project might need to know this, so don't just ignore it because it wasn't your part. Okay, so if I look here, it says three, include the climate graph and be able to explain it, and then eight, if you're comparing and contrasting your climate to another climate, you might want to use a climate chart for that as well. Okay, how do I find my climate charts? There's a couple ways. I'm going to show you both. First, I can scroll down to here. How do I get to climate graph? If I click on this, and I started before, I'm going to go through this again. So I'm going to click on this. This will go anywhere on the globe. It's just linked right now to Europe. So any of the European countries will be in here. That's not you. That's fine. Here's Africa, North America, South America, Asia. Oceania includes like Australia and the rest of them out that way. So depending on what you're looking for, I'm looking for Italy. Here's Italy. I'm doing Florence. If you remember, I said that my Bay City was cold winter, and it's going to be Saginaw, Michigan. And Florence, Italy just happens to be about the same latitude, but it's a different climate. Now, if I wasn't sure if it was a different climate, this website's great. It tells me right here Florence is a Mediterranean climate or a hot summer. Well, that's definitely not the cool winter that Saginaw, Michigan is. So I'm going to click on Florence. It's going to show me a couple different graphs and then more graphs. This is only the temperature. This is not a climate graph. I'm going to say it again. This is not a climate graph. This is your climate graph. Okay? And let's say I don't see an easy way to get a picture off of someplace. I'm going to hit Control Shift and then the button on my Chromebook that looks like a square with two lines on the right hand side of it. Push that. This lets me take a partial screenshot. What I want. Copy to my clipboard. I want to take it to my project. I'm going to put it here. Adjust its size. I might want this on a page all by itself just so it's easier to read. Again, it depends on what you want to do. Now that I know where I took it from, before I forget, image retrieved from this site. Do I have to have this in a 14 font? No, I do not. As long as it is on the page, it is good. I'm going to take it down to that. There. Okay, so I said two things. How do I get the graph, and how do I read the graph? So let's go ahead and pull that. And so here I see my climate graph. See what I mean? This is kind of small. I can't read that clearly. So that's why I would suggest the climate graph might be one slide all on its own, and you just know how to read it. So I'm coming back to here, and here I see this has Fahrenheit, this has Celsius, it has millimeters and inches. In the United States, we use inches and Fahrenheit. Do not show me a climate graph only in Celsius. I will ask you, well, how hot is this? It's 24 degrees Celsius. Well, that's about 76 degrees Fahrenheit, okay? So make sure you have the units that you know that we use in the United States. So the red line is going to be the temperature. How cold does it get in January? And so they just have the numbers, so that's January. So in January, 5 degrees Celsius or about 41 degrees Fahrenheit. Make sure you understand you're basically ignoring the Celsius column unless you want to explain both. Now, I'm going to focus on the bars. The bars are how much rain they get. So I can see from this graph that they get a fair amount of rain January through May, right? They're getting about 3 inches of rain, give or take, for those 5 months. Then in the summer, they get kind of dry. They drop down to less than 2, and here they're just a little over 1 inch for June, July, and August. But then they also have these really rainy months where they're at over 3 or over 4 even. Okay, so you should be able to read this graph and say that if I ask you, well, where's their dry season? Well, they're dry in the summer, right? Do they have a very wet season or a wet season? Well, they get most of their rain from September through December, right? Their fall to early winter is a lot of rain. And then from January to May, so midwinter through spring, they get about 3 inches a month. So be able to read those. Ask me or Miss Myers if you're not sure if you're reading it right. Okay, this is great. I had a really easy one. What if I wanted a city that was not there? Saginaw, Michigan. You think they have Saginaw, Michigan here? I don't. Going to North America. Going to the United States. Here we go. This is all of the United States. Yeah, Saginaw, Michigan, not one of them. Okay, so now I'm going to Google search climate graph. Saginaw, Michigan. Okay, so this is U.S. climate data. This one with the EN dot, this is going to look most like the website that I was just at. There we go. Looks just like the website I was just at. So now here's Saginaw, Michigan. Oh, wow. Look how different Saginaw, Michigan is from Florence, Italy. So they get, again, here's my Fahrenheit, there's my inches. Saginaw, Michigan gets as cold as 23 degrees Fahrenheit on average in January. It gets as hot as 70 something. A lot of times they will have the actual averages here. So if you wanted to double check how hot, maximum average temperature in June and July. So July, their average high temperature is 72. Okay. Wasn't quite sure from that graph, 72. Okay. And look at how much more rain they get. Make sure the scale is the same. So they always get a they don't have a really dry month, right? So that's something else to look at and compare to. And same thing, if I want to get this picture, I'm going to hit the control, the shift, the button that has a square and 2 lines on the side. Give me that. Copy to clipboard. Do I have to grab this again? Yes, it's a different URL up here. So make sure that you grab that. And then if I was going to put this here, new slide, paste, There it is. This time I want it blank. There we go. So I have it on the full side. So when I look at that, or if I wanted to compare them side by side, I could get them both on the same page. And you might want your main one, this one, all by itself on one page. And then later, when you want to compare them, put them side by side like this, so you can show everyone on the comparison. So if you happen to have your compare and contrast, one slide may be this. Another slide may be talking about the climate factors that are different. Okay? So are they similar and why are they different? We're going to go back to this, the factors that affect the climate. Maybe I should say don't forget. Okay. Okay. I am going to stop this one here.